I'm Anna. I'm a compulsive overeater, and really, really grateful for this meeting. And for an unexpected opportunity to talk about the hell that I lived in and the promise that was given to me when I came into OA. My abstinence date, just to qualify, is December 8th, 1980. And it's just a miracle that the fork doesn't go in my mouth one day at a time, except appropriately at meals, and carrying the food that's supposed to go in it. I don't have the big book in front of me. Would someone please be willing to read the step from page, wherever it is, on page 54, I think it is. If you could just read that, step 1.
Justina, compulsive overeater.
Thank you.
1, we admitted we were powerless over food, that our lives had become unmanageable.
Thank you. I was not powerless over anything, and my life was totally manageable when I came into program. I was held together with just as they say, chewing gum and paper clips. I came in as feeling very powerful over life. I was a very driven person, and just plowed my way through. I was an overachiever. I'd never had a best friend, and I always marveled at, that people had close friends, but I was just unto myself, and I had used that power basically to create this achiever. I was all about getting gold stars. I was all about, ticking things off in life, and everything was in order, and I was going to just be a great success, and I hoped I was going to be president of the United States, because anybody could be, and that was my life. And what was happening around the edges was I had always I either wanted a guy or food or a gold star. Those 3 things. It didn't matter which one it was. But the food was what was behind everything. If things weren't going well, you just have a bowl of ice cream. If things are going well, just have a triple dip ice cream cone. It didn't matter. Ice cream was my main staple food. I had it at least twice a day. And if I wasn't happy, you open the fridge and you have another piece of the casserole. And if I'd done something well, you open the fridge and you have another piece of casserole. It was just how I lived my life. And I didn't have the concept of overeating, because I just ate one piece of casserole at a time. And then a half hour I'd have another piece of casserole, and then a half hour I'd have another ice cream cone. And then as opposed to I'd eat the whole box of ice cream. I was always amazed when the ice cream box was empty, because I'm like, so who ate it? And I ate it one spoonful at a time, and all by myself. And so being a compulsive overeater was a mystery to me. I did not know about it. I knew I was having trouble with my weight. I couldn't keep my weight down, and I was about 30 pounds overweight. And 6 months before I came into program, I started going up 25 pounds in 2 weeks, and then down 20 pounds the next 2 weeks, eating melon and carrot sticks, basically. And so I was still managing, but my weight was going up. And I went to literally a guru. I was standing on my head to lose weight. I was, thought I was willing to go to any lengths, but I didn't know. No one had ever suggested to me the option about eating right. The options that were given to me were dieting and doing extreme behavior control things. I never knew about the option of eating right. And I was out dieting at a restaurant at a conference, And the woman at the table, and I am so grateful for people who don't wait for people to learn about it, but they share, they 12-step on the spot. She said, I'm a member of a group called Overeaters Anonymous, and it might help you. All I was doing was eating my salad. I was doing nothing else. And that woman could tell I was a nutcase and that I had
10
trouble
minutes.
with food. That's 10 already. Um, and I'm just grateful to this
10
day
left.
that,
Minutes
yeah,
left.
5 more minutes. And she gave me a meeting list. She handed me a hard copy of a meeting list. Again, well, we weren't online at that time. And but even today, you know, letting somebody know specific information, getting it down on a piece of paper as opposed to, oh, check out the website. It's like, you know, people aren't, I wouldn't have necessarily taken any initiative. And she said, oh, there's 2 meetings near you. She circled them. She said one's on Sunday. Well, that was 6 months before I went, and it was during those 6 months that I went nuts with the food. And then when I went to my first meeting, I just was like, oh my God, these people are all middle-aged. I was in my 20s. And, you know, they're wearing muumuus, they're fat, because that's what I saw. And I'm just grateful at the end of the meeting, it said, go to 6 meetings, it's free. And so I said, okay. And 6 meetings in those days meant 6 weeks, you know, come back 6 times. It didn't mean go to 6 meetings in one day on Zoom. So that you would have 6 weeks to learn. And anyway, so I went to another meeting. I pigged out like I'd never pigged out for a week and went to a different meeting. It was the same people, same community. and and at that meeting, someone came up to me, and again, they didn't wait for me to make the decision. She came up, she said, do you have a sponsor? I was a compulsive liar, but I happened to say the truth. I said no. And she said, okay, call me tomorrow morning at 6 o'clock and we'll have 10 minutes to talk. In the meantime, read here's a book to read the 164 first pages, and here's a meal plan, and let's go over it. You start right now. I have never overeaten since that woman did that. And that is just a miracle. And so the next morning I called her. I'd been abstinent. I was planning to be abstinent, whatever that meant. You know, I had this meal plan. And she said, you're on step 1. And I said, well, my life's not unmanageable. I'm not powerless. She said, well, you know, let's just take it one day at a time. You just do the food plan. Call me at 6 o'clock. And she started giving me questions, reading the big book and the AA 12 and 12, which are the 2 books I use to this day for sponsoring and for working my program. And by reading the literature and writing about it and me, I came to understand I was totally out of control. I was totally unmanageable, totally powerless. And it was OA that helped me know it. Because I didn't have a clue. And it was wonderful because I knew there were problems, but I didn't have names for them. I didn't understand it. And OA gave me understanding of I'm a compulsive overeater, and that's the source of my problem. And I don't have to keep searching. I don't have to keep standing on my head. I don't have to keep going to all these places that are going to help me figure it out. That it's as simple as that. And the recovery is as simple as asking for help on a daily basis and following the directions. And it was just a wonderful relief to admit I am powerless and my life had become unmanageable. And it is unmanageable left to my own devices. It gets unmanageable. And I'm reminded, yeah, Anna, you know, you can't really do this on your own. But I took step 1 in 1980. I've never had to take it again because I've never wondered. I am powerless and my life had become unmanageable and will become unmanageable again. So it's just really wonderful to live in that knowledge. It's the solid first step on which the others can be built. If there's any hope of being normal, it has to be smashed according to the big book. And I love that image. You know, there is no hope that I will ever be normal. And if I ever think there might be, you know, like say, oh yeah, I've been abstinent a long time and everything's fine. Yeah, it's fine for an hour. You know, I'm a compulsive overeater. And without that solid foundation of knowledge, which OA gave me, the rest is just going to come tumbling down. So I'm just grateful to know it today, to know that that we're restored to power, but only through working the steps on an ongoing basis, working the step that I'm on. And I work 10, 11, and 12 today. So I'm just forever grateful for the woman who came up and said she would sponsor me, which she did for 6 years. And then for the directions that are so clear in the big book that with a guide who was sane, my sponsor, I could follow those directions. I could be introduced to clear information about how to be restored to have power and manageability in my life on a daily basis because of a higher power. Step one, I didn't believe in any higher power at the time. I called my sponsor, went to my meetings, did my assignments, followed my food plan, but I wasn't going to believe in anything called God, that was for sure. It's not required in step one. And I'm grateful for that. That came later. So yeah, it worked for me and it continues. I love working with newcomers and just to watch when, they just go click and they go, oh my God, I'm a compulsive overeater, and it's never going away, to stay on step one until that never is part of knowledge. It will never go away. It's like having a leg cut off. It's never going to grow back. And my knowledge of who I am, one day at a time, it stays. And because that step one is solid. Thanks. That's it.